Going on? Welcome to another edition of the Detroit Sports Alliance. As we're doing the pregame show for the Detroit Lions Week 2 preseason game versus the Houston Texans. Now, you may have a few people come in and come out. This show's only going to be an hour long. And one reason is for us to be able to get ourselves prepared to examine the game as such, as well as Mr. MicroMike himself will be giving you a little special preview of a play-by-play of the game at 8 p.m. So here's who we do have with us today. We have Mr. MicroMike. What up, though?
What's going on, guys? Let's get it, man. I'm ready for some football.
Man, you and me both. And then we have Detroit's own Big Will. What it do?
What's up, man? I'm finally out the party.
Hey, see what I'm saying? This will happen when you break out of jail, right? Everything sounds good. Now, we may eventually get other people from the DSA on. I don't know yet. I know people have a very busy schedule, and we respect that. And, so let me just do my quick shout-out. Shout-outs to Nomis J. Make sure you subscribe to him. His channel is linked in my description, and everyone I'm going to name is linked in the description. So shout-out to Nomis J, Noble Sports Entertainment, Positively Detroit 9071, Detroit Drew 313 JMO, MicroMike, CA3 Sports Talk, and I believe I didn't leave out our newest member, which is the Big Take. All channels are linked in the description. And then we have here Detroit's own Big Will, who's going to be doing a YouTube channel eventually, and his stuff is going to have a special twist to it. So I'll leave that for him. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some football. Let's talk about it. We are finally here, people. All right, week 2, another week of overreaction from fans, or you think we're going to just be, much of the same? Let's get right into this. How much do you expect to see Matthew Stafford in the game, or just our starters, period? Let's start off with you, Will. Let's talk about it.
I'm believing if they don't score the first time, 2 series.
Ooh. So you basically saying if they don't come out the gate, driving down the field, they gonna stay in a little bit longer?
They're gonna get 2 series if they don't.
Ooh.
Because I think the noise might have got to them from everybody complaining and crying and everything. So I'm just saying they want to show that our offense is better than that we showed last week.
Okay. Now what say you, Mike?
What's going on, Vash? What up, Chris Cashboss, Scott McKellen? What is good, Adam Buchart, as well as JP, Jeffrey, George Morgan, Kevin Brown, Patrick, JGB, JP, Buffed Up, Boog Spray. What up, though? Okay, so for this question,
I did forget that, didn't I?
Hey, I got your back, man. I got your back. What I want to see from this offense, and of course the big take, is I just want to see 1 series for Matthew Stafford, and I want to see this 1 series go from wherever they possess the ball starting into the end zone and red zone and score a touchdown, and that's it. I don't want to see any more Matthew Stafford. A lot of major players in the NFL are getting injured, as we've seen with breaking news with other teams, man, and I don't want that to happen to us. So just want to see one series for Matthew Stafford in our first-string offense, and call it a night.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Like, to me, I feel like get him like a good 2-3 snaps. I don't think he needs a lot. I think week 3 is going to be our dress rehearsal. So for me, this is a little bit much, but I do think Will is on to something. If they don't come out and show some type of execution or fire anything, but I think he might be right where, they're going to keep him out there a little bit longer. And I do think it's a reaction to what happened in week 1, which is a shame because you should not be reacting to that, in my opinion. But it's week 2. They've already had a joint practice. Do you guys expect for the Lions to put somebody out there with the starters that we would not expect to see? So let's start off with you, Mike.
Man, I could see them putting some of the young wide receivers out there with the starters initially, because I think when it comes to the first preseason game, they didn't have a chance to really get assessed when it comes to the quarterback position that was doing really bad when it comes to fails. So you could see maybe Duhart out there. You could see possibly Fulgham out there. I think with the starters, I think that would be a really good idea, just because we have to get an idea of what these guys are going to do before we start the regular season. I mean, if we don't get a chance today and we don't get a chance when it comes to week 4 of the preseason, these guys aren't going to get assessed. So I would really like to see some of these young wide receivers get thrown in the mix.
I mean, and that's a fair assessment. You definitely want to be able to see it. And I know that there was an article, I believe it was on Lions Wire, talking about the possibility of the Lions picking up Josh Gordon, if he's released from the New England Patriots, which I don't think that's necessarily needed. However, you know, getting a chance to look at these younger wide receivers in that lineup would be very beneficial to see how they're playing with our starting quarterback. What say you, Will?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with y'all about the wide receivers, because the backup quarterbacks are not giving them a good look.
And I know nobody don't expect for Josh Johnson to come in and give a good look, which brings me to that next portion of it. You know, how much playing time do you expect to see Josh Johnson? I mean, he's been all the bit of a couple days. You know, how much playing time does he get over David Fales? I know Tom Savage is still in the concussion protocol, but how much playing time, Big Will, do you expect to see Josh Johnson out there?
Josh Johnson, I believe he's going to get a lot of time. One, because they said he's been doing good in practice, and Fales already showed us what he can do. So I don't really expect to see. I believe he probably played the first after the Stafford's out. We might go to Johnson, and then Phil might finish out the game.
Yeah, I really don't want to see Fales.
But he's going to finish the game.
You know,
they got him set on the field.
Like I feel like showing me Fales is like basically showing me something that I already know. You know, like hey, this is water. I know that. You know, but what say you though, Mike? How much time do you expect to see Johnson out there?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at someone's avatar really quick.
Oh, you talking about this one?
Yeah. So I would want to see Josh Johnson out there pretty much the whole time instead of Fales. We know Fales ain't making the team, period. Come on now. The guy's not an NFL quarterback. He's not going to be on the team. So throw out Josh Johnson. At least he has a veteran presence of 6 years. At least he has the ability to toss the ball and not just throw it erratically like we've seen with Phil. So throw him out there, see what he can do, and give him a chance to help these young guys out, these young wide receivers, and throw someone out there that's actually going to be on the team, because we all know Phil's ain't.
Right. Now we got a question from the chat from JP with the most interesting picture he can put on his avatar. It says, is Watson going to play? Big Will, we'll start off with you. Do you think they're going to actually play Deshaun Watson today?
They might give him one series, if that. I think, like I said, even most of the teams are scared right now to play their players. Yeah. So maybe one series, but their backups are a little better than ours right now. I mean, they can be better than Phil.
And just so you guys know, 313 J-Mo has just entered the building. What up, J-Mo?
What's good, y'all? What's good?
What's going on, man? Look, we gonna get right into it, J-Mo. I mean, they want to know, do you think they're gonna play Deshaun Watson today?
I don't know.
Okay, you say you just. I mean, I look at it like this. To me, I think if they do play him, it'll probably be for 1 or 2 snaps. And if you asking me, I think they have to play him. I think that, you know, you have to start to do things that's going to start to kind of get you in the rhythm against competition that you are not familiar with.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, some teams, not every team, like the Bears, they didn't play theirs. Baker Mayfield didn't play today, although the third string quarterback for the Browns looked like legit. So that might be something we have to look at later on. But yeah, some teams people didn't play. Other teams they let them play. Like Eli was playing. It just depends on the team. So that's why I'm saying I don't know, because I don't know what they're thinking. Like today, it's been some second games where Stafford hasn't played, but he's playing today. So it just depends.
For me, I agree with Adam. When Adam says yes, Watson will play. He played 3 drives last week, so expect like multiple drives again. I agree with that. Mike, do you think they play Ben Watson?
Yeah, man. Just do one drive.
Deshaun Watson.
Just do one drive with the start. They know what they got with their quarterback. And again, like I was saying previously, with the injuries that's mounting across the NFL, no team's going to want to risk their franchise player like Deshaun Watson to get injured and basically knock their season out. So I think they'll give him one drive and call it a game for him.
Now, I look at it like this. And here's another question that we got coming up from Adam, who says, do you guys think Anthony Pittman will make the roster if he keeps playing well like last week? Anthony Pittman is a guy that I know that they had a pre-draft visit with, so I know that they visit with him. And he was a guy that I spotlighted for week 1 because I wanted to kind of see what he was going to bring because I knew he had speed. I think he could make the team, but truthfully looking at it's going to be kind of hard for him because I think the biggest thing is they want versatility. So if he's playing outside linebacker, if they're moving him around to the inside linebacker, I can see him making the team. But if he doesn't show more versatility and he still plays well, I could see them trying to like be slick and be like, well, you're just not ready. We'll put you on practice squad. But what say you though, JMO?
I don't. What's his actual position?
Linebacker. He played at Wayne State University.
No, I know who he is, but I just need his position. I don't know, because I put it like this: he'll make the team if somebody else fall off. But
you said somebody else got to be like bad for him to get in.
No, I think the competition is stiff, and if somebody falls off, he can slide in. If somebody has because it's getting so close with these linebackers and with this 53, it could be the difference between somebody playing bad in the dress rehearsal game and him playing better. Because like we've seen it happen plenty of times before. But if no one, if the linebackers like Maven and some of the other guys, if they stay playing solid, I don't see him making the team.
Okay, and we'll say you will. You thinking Anthony Pittman's going to find his way onto the roster for the Lions? I mean, I think he should be if he can keep this up. I mean, I like what I saw out of him, and I know it was early, but I was impressed with what I saw. But what say you, Will?
Well, I'm looking at with Trey Lamar going down. I believe that's the opening for him. So I can see that, and he's shown a little bit that he can cover a little better than some of the other linebackers, and he got a little more height.
Right.
And he can play special teams. A lot of people slip on that. The special teams is big to Patricia.
Absolutely.
If you can do special teams and you can get downfield, which he has speed, he has size. He showed he can tackle, and you show that you can help them in special teams. I believe he got a chance to make the team.
Okay. Now we got Dark Brown Twin who says, what channel is the game coming on? Fox. It's going to be Fox. I don't think I haven't seen anything where they switching it, so it's going to be Fox. What say you, MicroMike? Anthony Pittman, the linebacker, the unknown linebacker, undrafted. You think he makes this team?
I don't think he makes the 53. I can see him being a practice squad candidate. I just think when it comes to the individuals that are ahead of him right now, I think you're going to see a lot of Jalen Reeves-Maybin. You're going to see a lot of people being utilized in that linebacker position that's ahead of him right now. And I just don't see right now. Again, I think special teams could be the way. If he does do it, have to be special teams. But again, I think throwing him on the practice squad where I don't know if another team would be looking directly at him. So I think that would be a good spot because I think we could stash him away and bring him up to the roster if need be down the road.
Now, we have 50 people that was in the chat. We only have 13 thumbs up. Can we get those likes up, people, so we can get the video circulating and get more publicity for the DSA movement to give our team fair, unbiased representation when it comes to our sports teams. Now, a question that I noticed I'm seeing a lot of is people want to see a lot of Ty Johnson tonight, and I don't think they gonna get it. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of Ty Johnson tonight. I think you're gonna get a whole lot more CJ Anderson, but I don't know if you're gonna get a whole lot of Ty Johnson. I think you should expect to see CJ Anderson getting a few more snaps, Zach Zenner, obviously, but I don't know if they're gonna give you too much Ty. What do you think? Where you think we're gonna see a whole lot of Ty today?
Hey, like I told you before, I think people slept on Ty Johnson. And now that he is starting to come out how good this guy really is, they probably won't play him that much. I mean, because they're trying to hide what they're trying to do with him anyway, because they already have plays set up for this guy. And you know what I'm saying? So you got him and Kerryon in the backfield at the same time. They're doing certain things for them. And you don't want teams to be able to try to plan for him.
Okay. See, I'm a little bit on the a little bit of a different end of the spectrum, because for me, I don't know if I need to see too much of him. I've seen his ability to cut in and out, be patient, and then, yes, it was only one game, but how much more do I need to see out of him, considering that my starting running back core is going to be KJ and CJ? So, you know, how much more do I need to see out of him? I kind of want to keep him a secret. You know what I mean? Like, keep it hush hush and don't let nobody know what's going on. But what say you, Mike? You think we're gonna get a whole lot of Ty Johnson today?
I think he'll be on the field in formations a little bit more. I'm not sure necessarily he'll be running more. I think, again, you'll probably get a little more CJ Anderson, Zach Zenner, more today than was the first game. I think a lot of Ty Johnson will become probably the fourth preseason game if he is on a bubble, in which I do not believe he is. I think he's definitely remade the team, because his abilities that it comes to speed, as well as can be utilized in multiple formations on the offense, is going to be something the Lions can definitely use this season. So I do agree with you that you'll see more of CJ Anderson and Zach Zenner, but I do believe you'll see Ty Johnson on the field in different formations. Again, I'm not sure exactly how many carries he's going to receive in those formations, though.
Which I think is a fair assessment. I think it's fair to assess it in a way where he may be out there as a decoy just for formation purposes and not necessarily get the touches. What say you, J-Mo?
I say he'll be out on special teams more. But okay, considering the value he has to our team, he's just a specialty gadget type player. And regardless of what you might want to see from him from a perspective of an NFL team, if you have a guy that's a specialty gadget type player, how could you even use him in a preseason game? Because that's not what it's a preseason game. You know what I'm saying? It's like you wasting your plays, and he isn't needed. You need him to do a certain thing, whether it's catching out the backfield or whatever we want him to do. And he can only, do that to his full potential in actual games. Kerryon Johnson, CJ Anderson, they're going to be getting all of the carries. Kerryon's going to be getting a lot of catches out of the backfield too. And guys like him and Agnew will switch off of the gadget play. So I don't expect to see either one of them on offense that much, especially not in the second preseason game. But I think he'll be out there for maybe an extra special teams drive to see if he can get a hold of the ball.
Well, which brings me to that next question. Basically asking, are we going to see some Kerryon and Kenny Galladay today? Yeah, everybody's getting a little rep today. I think it's a way to get people warmed up. I think it's a way to get people feeling that anxiousness and getting it out of their system. So I expect to see pretty much most of our starters getting at least a rep or two today. But
I think they'll get a rep, but we got a lot of weapons, so you might not see. I mean, you'll see Kerryon for a couple, but you might not see some of the people you want to see just because, we only out there to score on like one drive. We got a lot of people. For all we know, Stafford could be throwing to Amendola and Jesse James down the field the whole way. So you don't necessarily, I know people probably want to see a lot of guys, but we pretty loaded on offense. So you might not get to see some of the guys that you wanted to see just because of if we score. I'm pretty sure the offense will be done.
I mean, I think there's going to be some reps handed out to a bunch of starters today. I feel like everybody's going to get a chance to get out there and touch that field today, even if it's to do nothing more than just touch the field. Get the anxiety out the system and the nerves out. But what say you, Mike? Do you think that we're going to see some Kerryon and some Kenny Galladay?
A little bit. Again, I think one series is all you're going to see them on the field. I don't want to risk them to injury, but I do want to see one series from the starters, and that's it. Call it a game. I don't want to see Kerryon Johnson on there more than that. I don't want to see Kenny Galladay. I don't want to see Danny Amendola. None of these guys that's going to be really utilized this season on offense or defense, I do not want to see them more out there more than one series. The last thing we need is to lose a starting safety or a starting cornerback, just like the Arizona Cardinals did.
I mean,
I'm paying attention to the wide receiver too because Marvin Jones isn't down there with us. So whoever they put there is who I'll be looking at the most.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Big Will, I mean, what say you, man? You think we getting a little bit of Kerryon, a little bit of Kenny Galladay today? I mean, it's game 2, not 3, but 2.
Well, like I seen in the comments, we got the guy from the AAF or whatever that league they had going on, the running back. We got Thompson, and I think those guys gonna play.
Okay, so you expecting to see more of those younger dudes getting there and getting some reps in?
Yeah, I believe that's the reason they picked them up, so they wouldn't have to use our main backs.
Has anybody noticed that we haven't heard the name Tommy Lee Lewis? Have anybody?
I've heard his name.
I don't remember hearing his name too much, but I'm just like, okay. And here's a question from Dominic Davis who says, how do you guys feel about the Rock Nation deal with the NFL? I don't. I think that is one of those things where people do. I believe money talks every time. And regardless of how they want to approach it, I believe that everything that gets done has to have a dollar sign, and I believe that most things do have a dollar sign. And so for me, it's something that I think would be better served being discussed on more on a one-on-one level versus than this show. So I'm not.
But it is something to talk about. I'll say this: I was surprised a little by it. I know a lot of people are angry about it for certain reasons, but I was a little bit surprised, but only because of what he said before. But as Luke said, money is everything. So if they really want to get you there, they can basically get anyone there. But I didn't think it was gonna move the situation. What up, Buffed Up? How you doing, man? I'm having a great day, man. With your girlfriend.
But, okay, I want to come in on that one. Just a little bit.
Come on, man. We're not definitely on that. Come on,
just real quick, and I'll leave it alone.
Right. Sometimes we got to keep it professional, even when people are not, man. So come on.
But real quick, let me make one comment on this thing right quick, Luke.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, only thing I have to say about the whole thing is we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see what he's doing. What's his motive? And everything else. It might be more to it than what people think. We're jumping to reaction without even seeing what he's trying to do with the NFL. So it's a wait and see thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like I would kind of like I would tackle it a little bit different, but I mean, the meaning behind it is what people are talking about. So. But first black man on the net says, man, I don't even want to see our starters until 9-8. This injury bug is scaring me. You ain't lying, man. There's been a lot of significant injuries that's been happening over across the league. The Lions have been able to come out with minor scars. So I can understand your apprehension for it and for wanting to not see them. But this brings me to a question that I saw earlier, which is, should the Lions consider Philip Dorsett if the New England Patriots release him. That's the wide receiver. What say you, MicroMike?
I'm happy with our wide receiver core right now. I think Brandon Powell will do fine in Curse's spot. I think Brandon Powell, man, he looked really good in preseason. He's looked good in training camp. I think he can really be utilized in this offense, and I like him as our number 4 wide receiver at this point. I think Duhart and I think Fulgham can take that 5th spot. Now, if another injury happens, maybe, but I'm happy right now with Brandon Powell. I think, man, if he can continue what he's doing right now, he can be a difference maker for this team, because if Amendola goes down, I would be very happy with Brandon Powell to take his spot, because I think he can fill it if need be. I think he can be utilized right now without that. So I'm confident in Brandon Powell, I think we're going to see a lot of Brandon Powell in this game as well, to put more confidence in fans that this guy can take over of what Curse fell off.
I agree that yeah, he's earned the right to get more reps. I think he's earned the right to get more playing time, and he's earned the right to get more viewership, so fans can see, hey, he's a reliable option for us. Don't panic. And so I wouldn't be shocked to do it, but I personally would pass on Philip Dorsett at this point. I think if your confidence is not picked up while you in New England, it's all bad. So I can't put too much stock in him at this point, but I think this is a good question from Brendan Blake, where he says, do we see Daniels or Flowers tonight? I think you see Flowers tonight. I'm not sure you see Daniels. What say you, J-Mo? Yep. Right. Okay, cool. All right, Big Will, what say you? You think we're gonna see more Flowers? Or Mike Daniels?
They're gonna do them the same way they're gonna do the offense. I mean, it's about one series, and just like the only reason I said 2 series for the offense because it's a new offense. But defensively, they might get 1 series and they're gonna sit them out.
Okay.
I think what's his name? Daniels won't be playing, but Flowers will. But I don't want none of our defensive line playing, honestly.
At all?
Snacks, I want to see him, but other than that, it's just like our top defensive players, outside of Snacks, because he's always upright. Deshaun had a little banged up. I'll wait for the dress rehearsal game with them.
All right. So we got a question about the Patriots. Do you think the Patriots keep 2 backup QBs? If not, would you pick up either of them? You're saying, they drafted, I'm pretty sure they drafted the rookie, Statman. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. And then they got Brian Hoyer. I think they're keeping those 2 quarterbacks. And if they release one of them, I'm not so sure if I would take them, because everybody looks good in the Bill Belichick system at quarterback. I mean, Matt Castle did, Jacoby Brissett did. I'm not sure I would go
backups in the league.
Right, but they got big contracts at the plant in New England. Minus Jacoby Brissett. He still got picked up by the Colts and was retained with a nice, decent contract to be a backup.
Hey, now he the only hope for the Colts because Luck is hurt again. So,
and that's one of the things I look at. So, I don't know if I'm ready.
I saw him play today when they was playing Brissett, and when they was playing against the Browns, and that's when I was able to see the Browns' 3rd string quarterback. So, I would take Stidham though. I like what I saw.
Yeah, see, I don't think they release him. I just don't think he's gone. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, just because look, it's a preseason game. Of course, everybody's gonna look good, but he was looking kind of like legit good almost. I was like, oh, hold on, I need to watch him. So, Bill Belichick, man, he found Jimmy G. And what I mean is, for that system, Jimmy G could have took over. Especially how bad Brady played last year. So, I don't have any problem to think that he can find another good quarterback.
I don't know if I go that far, but I don't think they release him. I think they
keep find another Brady though. But I think find another good quarterback.
What say you, Big Will? You think they gonna release one of those quarterbacks that's backing up Brady? Brady ain't getting no younger. What is he, like 80, 100? What is it? Like, seriously,
you better kill him, Gandalf Brady.
Well, I'm just saying. But Big Will, what do you think? You think they keep those 2 quarterbacks?
I think they keep 2, but they probably gonna trade the second one next year for a first-round draft pick.
Okay. 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 I mean, you jump right into it.
So basically, Big Will was saying Brady's gonna get hurt in a game, and then Stidham's gonna end up playing, and he's gonna be balling for like 3 games, and then he's gonna get traded.
I mean, but that's how Brady got.
No, they can do good. They can do
no,
good.
That's what happened with Garoppolo. And percent.
All right, now, Mike, what do you think? You think they're gonna keep the 2 backup QBs in New England or not?
Oh man, that's I think they may keep the rookie. Obviously, they're going to keep their veteran backup. They have to have the veteran backup for Tom Brady, but it's going to be close when it comes to that rookie guy. And if they did release him, do the Lions want to take a flyer? I would, because if we took a flyer on Cook and Fales, why not take a flyer on a guy that made Fales look really, really bad compared to Peterman? So might as well.
That's a bad comparison too, to be honest with you. Joseph Murdoch says, at Luke, what is your take on the undrafted free agent D tackle Strong? You think he can be safe on practice squad? He gonna have to be, because I think that's where he's going. He's gonna have to be. I don't think he makes this team. You know, again, there's gonna have to be some people getting seriously hurt.
Guys, I was talking to Lions fans, and they were talking to me upset because Jake Rudock was playing well, and they like, why did we ever get rid of him? I'm like, who knows? But at the end of the day, you can always find a quarterback to beat Jake Rudock. But considering how bad we were, we definitely need to find at least a backup that won't make us commit suicide at night.
Yeah, I don't think Strong. I don't think Strong makes this team. I just don't. I saw 2 plays where Strong got put on his back, and it wasn't pretty. It just wasn't pretty. And I know it happens in every game, but Lord, that's not what you want to see from a person trying to earn a spot on the roster. So, for me, I want to see more of guys being able to hold their own. When PJ came in, I didn't see him get on his back. I didn't see him do much, but I saw him get a good pass rush. I saw him hold himself up at the line of scrimmage, and I didn't see that with Strong. And I'm like, did you trip? Did somebody, was there a sniper in the audience that we didn't know about, and he caught you slipping? So, I'm not sure what happened there. So I don't know. I don't know about that, but keep the questions coming, people, because we're going to answer them. You know what I'm saying? So it says, because Rudock was booty, not really a tough call. Why is he gone? Well, one of the reasons I was never a Jake Rudock fan. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but I've never been a Jake Rudock. Even when he's at Michigan, I remember thinking they could have won so many more games if they just didn't have Jake Rudock.
I mean, about with all the Michigan quarterbacks are so horrible besides Brady, but sadly, the other Michigan quarterbacks lost more games than Jake Rudock did.
Well,
horrible.
Let's talk about it. But like Mike, do you looking back on it, should the Lions, have capped Jake Rudock? Looking back on it,
compared to what we got now, yeah, man, I'd take anyone compared to what we got now. But in all reality, I think they should really have. I wanted them to draft a quarterback in this year's draft, and I was talking to you earlier about the Jacksonville Jaguars and their rookie quarterback that they picked up and how he was looking, and I was very impressed from a guy that got drafted in the later rounds. And Luke scouted this guy big time. And just seeing that you could get a guy in the later rounds like that and that could potentially be on your team is what I wanted them to do. And so going back to Rudock, if that's all we got compared to Fales and Josh Johnson, maybe, but no, I think it's just time to go forward and see what Josh Johnson's got, see what Savage has got. When there's going to be other people released when they go down to 53, and there's going to be veterans released. If they want to take that route, then do that. But again, man, I wanted that draft that guy, I forget his name, man, out of Jacksonville, and he was looking really good.
Gardner Minshew. Yeah, out of Washington State.
You talking about dude from Washington? Yeah, honestly, I like him.
Yeah,
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, he was a guy that they brought in for a visit. He was one of they visit that they brought in. They brought him in kind of late in the process, and I think they was kind of hoping he'd fall a little bit further for him, but he didn't. But they had an opportunity to draft him, and so there's no excuse there. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's Jake Rudock. I'm sorry, I don't think we got anything better with that. What say you, Big Will, on Jake Rudock? Looking back on it, should the Lions have capped Jake Rudock?
Well, I believe Jake Rudock arm wasn't strong enough for the Lions, what they're trying to do. And you want to get a quarterback that's similar to your starting quarterback so you don't have to change the plays so much. So that's why they went and got Savage, thinking that, he can be a good backup for Stafford. So I see them setting themselves up to draft a quarterback in the 3rd round next year.
And I think that makes more sense because you figure you got some outs coming up in like 2021 for Stafford's contract. So if you're going to do it, that would be the time to do it. But I just think now with the way the cap is working and the cap hits, it's not feasible to do such a thing. What say you, J-Mo? You think, the Lions should have capped Jake Rudock?
Considering what we have now, as MicroMike said, yes. Fales and Tom Savage they're just terrible. They're unplayable. Matt Castle last year was unplayable. Whatever. I mean, I don't really like Rudock that much, but I feel like he's more playable than them, and I've seen him do better than those guys. I just don't like Tom Savage and David Fales, Josh Johnson, and the backup situation is going to be bad regardless, but Rudock looks better than those guys, and that's just my only perspective because I'm not really about looking that hard into the backup quarterback. I just want the best available guy,
and I can see that happening. I mean, to me, I can see it being the case where they're looking at it now. We have 62 people I counted in the chat and 30 likes. Let's get those likes up, people. And I see we also got a question that says, do we think the Lions will get a quarterback in next year's draft? You know what? We started off with you, Mike. Do you think the Lions are taking a quarterback next year?
Yes, they're definitely taking a quarterback. Now, I can't tell you what round. It all depends on the record. I think you'll see maybe a 5th or 6th rounder, 4th, 5th, or 6th if they have the season that I believe they're going to have. And then it will give them a chance to develop a young quarterback, whether it be for a backup role or a potential trade to another team, 3 years down the road like the Patriots way. So, yeah, I do see them getting a quarterback. I think getting a young guy right now, have him sit behind Matthew Stafford for a couple of years. If he develops into something great, then, hey, maybe we move on with him. If he develops into something good, hey, we can use him as trade bait. It's like the Patriots way. If not, he's a good backup. So I think that is the approach that they're going to do. No doubt in my mind they get a quarterback this year.
Now, we got Noble Sports Entertainment who said they could have developed him more. I don't know how many more years you was going to give him for development. I mean, he was here for quite a bit. So, but what say you, though, Big Will? You thinking that we taking that quarterback next year? Or this?
Well, yeah, I said 3rd round quarterback. And the only reason I'm saying 3rd round because the Lions have showed they're willing to take a risk in that 3rd round pick. They take players that nobody really know of, Galladay, Walker. They willing to take that chance at that 3rd round.
I mean, and it makes sense to take it, but I think it's going to be hinged upon draft position, and because I believe the Lions are going 11-5, I would have to strongly agree with you that it's going to have to be somewhere in that 3rd to 4th round because at 11-5 we making playoffs and stuff, so I don't expect us to be picking very high. And if we picking very high, then it's going to be some heads rolling and not some good ones. So let's be honest about that. And Kent Palate, I hope I said that correct. He says if you are drafting a quarterback in the 3rd, keep an eye on small schoolers. Absolutely, I could think of a few. So make no mistake, I'm already on top of that and scouting and figuring out who's doing what. Now, here's the thing for today's game. What is this thing that you're going to expect to see today? Because one of the things that we expected from last week's game, many of those expectations were never met. But for you, let's start off with you, Big Will. What are you expecting to see today in today's game?
I'm expecting to see the offensive line try to control the game. That's what they want to. I think that's one of the things they want to show this week because they got handed to them, and plus Patricia and Watts got into it, so they're going to have a chip on their shoulder today.
Wait, what? You said they already mad, huh?
Oh, they got at it. They got at it in camp.
Yeah, they got at it. So now they're going to try to look out for their coach, and they're going to make sure that they try to push him out the way.
Well, it's definitely going to be, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I hope them guys understand that this game don't count. And while they're going out there being aggressive, I hope that they're being aggressive intelligently. But
pride does.
Right. But what are you expecting to see, Mike, in today's game?
Man, what I expect to see is something that we haven't seen in a couple years, and I just want to see one drive from our starting offense, and I want to see Matthew Stafford take that ball and get a touchdown. I want to see a fast start because that is what we haven't seen in a couple of years from KFC. I know I could tell you about all the players I want to see, the different wide receivers, the defensive players, but this is what I really want to see. I want to see him get the ball wherever it's at and score a touchdown and call it a night. That's it. If I see that, I will go to bed happy.
Okay, I mean, I think that's a fair assessment. J-Mo, it's game 2. It's not game 1. You saw how the fans reacted to game 1. They booed them at halftime and set everything on fire by third quarter. What do you expect to see in this game?
Nothing. But since it's preseason and we got to do this, I'm not expecting anything. My expectations are literally zero. But I'll go with the same thing I said last time. I need to see this Darrell Bevel running scheme from. I'm hoping that all the JBC stuff is thrown out now, and y'all can at least use some of your running scheme plays. I'm just paying attention to the running backs and the receivers, and hopefully, Stafford plays well and all of that. But to me, I want to see that running game and these penalties. That's all I'm really concerned with.
And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. For me, I want to see, again, the tempo. Show me an offensive tempo. I didn't feel like we can get into one because we were too busy letting the quarterback get destroyed. And then on top of that, when you go through and you look at how the Lions came out the gate, they came out with a run here, pass here, run here, pass. And it was like, I don't know if I like that. I want to see kind of a more upbeat tempo where we're moving the ball down the field. And on top of that, I think you touched on that, J-Mo, with the penalties. I need to see less penalties because some of those penalties negated some good plays from Ty Johnson where you're like, God, he did all that to get called back. What is there left to do? So for me, I want to be able to see that aspect of it. Now, who you think is going to be that dark horse that we're going to be talking about this game? Because I think there's a player that is going to truly shine this game, and it's going to have people saying he needs to be a starter. But I think it could be questioned that he might need a little bit more seasoning. But for you, J-Mo, who's that dark horse?
Well, I have more than one, but Paul and what's his name, Chris Lacey. I'm hoping they do well. But my other person is PJ Johnson. I just think PJ gonna get an opportunity in this game, and PJ is gonna do well. And it's gonna. I think it's gonna be very hard for him to make this team, like really hard. But I just think it's just gonna give the coaches a little bit more problems, and hopefully whoever's at corner is playing well though.
I mean, I think that's a good one. I think that's some good picks. I mean, for me, my pick for the dark horse would be Adams at the safety spot, and I think he's going to have a big game just by some of the things I read and how he was doing his practice. And then outside of him, the other guy that I think you're going to hear people saying, "Oh, he needs to start," or he needs to get more playing time, is going to come from the offensive line, and I think that's going to come from how you pronounce dude's name, Micah. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I've been hearing good things about him in practice and not giving up no pressures, and I'm expecting to see those two dudes have a huge game. But what say you, Big Will? Who's that dark horse for you?
I'm gonna try to say the name, but I know I'm gonna get it wrong.
Yeah, we bad with names. I ain't even a lot of y'all. We gonna botch a name or two, and we got 65 people in the chat. Can we get those likes up? Let's try to see if we can aim for. Let me see. We are at currently at 35. Let's see if we can hit 50. Can we get to 50 on the likes, people? Micah St. Andrews, thank you for that. I botched this dude's name every single time. Am I saying it Micah?
I was about to say Andrews because I thought that's what you were talking about.
Is it Micah or Mike? I don't know. Don't get me started. Hey, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna say no, it is Okamura.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Okamura, the cornerback.
Ooh, interesting.
Ooh, that would be nice.
If he show up and show out, yeah, I would be happy to see that induction of him putting himself into the conversation more. But why him though?
Because everybody don't believe in the number 2 corner, so they're looking for anybody. And even though our other corner hasn't gave them a reason to not like him, but they just looking at his past, like, well, last year he didn't do nothing for the Raiders, so. I don't think he's that good, but he hasn't did anything for nobody to say, well, he hasn't did, you know what I'm saying? So, but everybody wants this guy to start, so they're looking for anything.
I mean, and I mean, good point. And that's a very good pick. You know,
that is a very good pick because if Amani plays well and he continues, that's big for us.
Oh, he says I'm saying it right. Thank you, Flan. He said I'm saying it right. Thank you, Mike. Who's your dark horse?
I don't know if he's really much of a dark horse, but the guy that I want to start and who I want to be on that field every time that the offensive line is out there is Joe Dahl. That is who I'm looking at.
Right. You said he need to get everything off the charts because you making sure Wiggins don't get in, huh?
I want to see him on there the whole time and get as much as reps as possible and go against that starting defensive line of the Texans so we can see what we got with that left guard position. It is very important we know this now because the season's approaching, and if we don't get that offensive line squared away, it's going to be a long year for Matthew Stafford. Joe Dahl is the guy that I am definitely want to start, and I hope he shines tonight.
Good point. Now General G Berry says Luke needs Hooked on Phonics name edition. Hashtag facts. Dark Brown Twin said yeah because he got burned last game.
He was up and down.
Yeah, I don't know if he got burned. I think he didn't trust his technique and turn that head around while his hand was still on the receiver. And there was a few times where he and Mike Ford refused to pop them, to redirect the receiver. So those are more technical issues that can be fixed, in my opinion.
Yeah, and only reason I wasn't that hard on Aurier is because he was keeping up with everybody. And at this level, keeping up with people is 70% of the battle. So that's what I'm more concerned with because that technique and all that other stuff, that can be learned year 2, year 3, but you have to be able to cover these guys.
True. And man, you guys in the chat are amazing, man. I'm looking at a lot of your comments and stuff, and you guys are posting some very good questions, some very good thoughts. Wait
like the video, guys.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me go down. Big Will getting some love. Hold on. Let me go right back. Here we go.
O-line needs to be great today.
Big Will, the most knowledgeable dude on this panel. You see that right there, Big Will? You getting some love in the building, man. You getting some love in the building. Appreciate that, Jeffrey Cameron. Great job, Joe Dial. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people love Joe Dow too, Mike.
Hey, Joe Dow's been a fan favorite, and now he's actually good enough to be a fan favorite, if you know what I mean. So I think a lot of people want to see him play. I would definitely want to see him play because Joe Dow. I mean, they used to hype him up all the time, but he never really showed anything. But you work on your body, you get real serious because Matt Patricia gonna cut you. Step up your game.
Yeah, and even right now, Ted, as you see on the screen, he says Joe Dow's going to pitch a shutout and he's going to be our starting left guard. I hope you're right because I'm not sold on Keaton Wiggins. First black man on the net says maybe Killebrew at the linebacker spot, not a starter, but just pulling for him. Yeah, Killebrew is one of those guys I know can tackle. I know he has the speed. I know he can hit, but I just wonder if he is going to put it all together, if that makes sense. Because you would think with him being a safety going to linebacker, his coverage skills would be a little bit better. You would think.
I've been saying Killebrew was a linebacker since his rookie season, though.
Right.
I just want to throw that out there. I got receipts.
You got the receipt to prove it?
Yeah, I've been saying he's a linebacker. I just got the linebacker feel. Now, him being a good linebacker, like you said, covering, but I just got the feel that, like, this dude is not a safety. He needs to be in the box.
All right.
That's just the feel I got from him.
All right, so now we got 71 people in the chat, 42 likes. Let's get those likes to 50.
Come on, dog. Let's get 55.
Likes up there and get it to 55, man. Push it, But here's the thing, people, because we're coming up on. I also want to make this announcement. Make sure when we're done here, you go over to MicroMike's channel, especially if you are out of the area. He's going to be doing play-by-play analysis of the game, so you'll be able to know what's going on because he's going to tell you it. And he's going to be live doing it, so you'll be able to ask questions. Maybe you want to know who on the field. He's going to be the guy to go to and do that. But let's talk about this though, fellas. Is there anything you're going to be watching in this game that's going to have you keeping a close eye on our head coach and our offensive coordinator? Let's start off with you, J-Mo.
Man, I'm gonna say this to you, Matt Patricia. Man, let's sit down over here, man. Look. They play like they did in their last game, we're going to have a problem. I mean, I don't care if it's preseason or not. You need to compete a little bit more, or your players need to compete a little bit more. That's all I'm going to say. Darrell Bevel, I really don't know what to say about you because I don't know who playbook you're using, but all I know is wasn't we like 5 yards per carry that first game? So I just want to repeat of that, and I want to see these running backs get an opportunity. But I'm paying attention to Matt Patricia because these players playing like garbage, it's going to be a problem.
And I think it's fair. What say you, Mike?
Patricia, Coach Bevel, everyone with the flags. Knock it off and show and make sure your players understand discipline. Discipline is the key. The amount of flags that get thrown needs to be far less than it was last year, less than it was last game. Cut those things down and sustain drives. If you want to win in this league, we got to get those penalties down, and I know you can do it. You are a coach who has been in the big game. You're a coach who understands the fundamentals. Now make sure that these young guys understand it and do the little things to stop the penalties.
And I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's an honest request to have. For me, I'm going to be watching Matt Patricia from a number of standpoints. I know he hurt. I know he can't be on the field, running around, doing every single thing. I get it. But I do expect to see him with a cohesive game plan. I expect to see that. I expect to see him do something that looks like a head coach. Yesterday, there was a level of frustration. I'm not yesterday, but last week, there was a level of frustration against the New England Patriots. And it should have been because they was missing tackles. They wasn't doing anything right. And so, when you have that type of bad outing, I can see why you would be frustrated, but I expected more than what I saw from him as the head coach. What say you, Big Will?
Well, me personally, going back to last week, I believe that the players, the difference between a championship team and a team that's on the uprising is that in the practice, I believe they let it all out in practice. And so they got to the game. They didn't have that next gear, which is a learning experience for them. But New England, they knew what to do. You know what I'm saying? So they came out to play. But hopefully this week they give us a little bit more. But the thing I'm looking for is actually the run game. I want to see them. I want to see the offensive line open up some holes. I want to see a guy not get touched for at least 5 yards.
Man, that would be beautiful, right? Wouldn't
hey,
it?
You want that Zeke Elliott protection?
Yeah, right. I
don't got no issue with that, bro. That Zeke Elliott protection won that same franchise 3 Super Bowls, but
Well, yeah. Detroit, Michigan, 1990 says, "What up, fellas? What up, Detroit, Michigan, 1990?
What up, man? I like your photo, man. What's good, dude?
That photo's dope. Y'all don't peep the king in the chair.
Yeah,
I need that photo, man. You need to send that to me.
And we got Detroit Drew in the building. He says, "What up?" He said, "What's good, peeps? What's good, man? What's going on?" We also got some other comments going on. Everybody is making some good points here, man. And I
am gonna watch what's his name, the backup quarterback, and Jelani Tavai, because I don't know why, but it seems like sometimes the defensive starters get more snaps, when you get closer to the dress rehearsal game. So he might be out there longer. And I want to see how he does out there.
Right, you would think so, right? Like you would think, that
I'm just going off the last 2 preseasons of games I saw. The offenses were off, but they still had the defenses on there. So,
Best Wine for Last says, "Where's TA? Detroit Sports Alliance is the best podcast show talking Detroit sports. Keep up the great work. 100% fire, man. Appreciate it. TA is at work, so TA got called.
Got to grind and get paid.
He's at work. I understand when he says money over us is no hard feelings, because we don't get paid for this. We just want to be able to represent our team and talk about our team, because we know the media is not going to do it. So he's at work. It says, "Last week I could have tackled better, and I played with better technique than our corners. So that's what I'm looking for, this better technique by the corners." That's a very good point there. I mean, I can't get mad at you, Adam, for that. Yeah, technique is everything. I don't know why people don't understand this. And I think Eric B and Rakim said it best. Don't sweat the technique. In other words, I'm so good at what I do that you don't even know it's technique. It's just flawless. So, so that's just the way it's looking. Now Evan says he's looking out for Josh Johnson. I think a lot of people want to see what Josh Johnson brings. I have seen enough of Josh Johnson.
I want to see these tight ends too.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get TJ Hockenson. He's going to get a pass today. Yes. I bet you that.
I need to see TJ Hockenson. I've been salivating, man.
Yeah, TJ.
I remember George Morgan. He was talking to me, and it's not like I don't want to see this, but he was like, "I want to see JJ Watt versus TJ Hockenson." I'm like, look, if it happened, it happened. But it's not really a tight end that can cover JJ Watt one-on-one. But we'll see how he does if that happens.
Right. And, we got Ted who's saying, "I'm concerned about Taylor Decker." We all are, because he has not been the same since he got hurt. When he first came in, he was locking them up, man. He was putting them to, then he got hurt. And I don't know what happened. So it's
he hasn't. He said he's been awful in camp. I've been hearing conflicting stories from that, but he's still Taylor Decker.
So. Well, here's the thing, people. Again, MicroMike is getting ready to go live at 8:00, right, Mike?
Yes, sir. 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. And I know I have to get myself ready for it. So we're gonna give you the final words. Are we still doing the post-game show, Mike?
I have to work overtime tomorrow, so I'm unable to do that.
Okay. Tonight. So I'll try to do the post-game show tonight and see who jumps on with me, who doesn't. It doesn't make a difference. But I know that Mike is giving you the play-by-play for the people who are not in the area. So definitely check out MicroMike. Also, make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Big Will, last words, man. What you want to tell the people?
I love being on with you guys, man. This is like the time of my life when I get to get with you guys and talk football. So that's the main thing I want to say. I just like getting on here. I like what y'all putting out here.
Hey,
well, you already know how it is, bro.
And I know people may not realize, but Big Will. Listen, Big Will got me to believe in Rashawn Melvin being the number 2 cornerback. We had a long conversation. I said, "Listen, help me why they want to do this. But when he broke it down, I said, and right there, I'm done. You're right. You make very good, perfect sense. All right, he's number 2. And I've been crediting him ever since. So shout out to you, man, for coming on. I appreciate it, man, and filling in. Again, I know TA will have to work. We are, wish you was here, TA, but hey, get that money, man. Last words, J-Mo.
Speaking of Rashawn Melvin, I can't remember who I was arguing with very heavy on some tight end type stuff, Luke. Like, Rashawn Melvin is not the starting corner because they kept telling me he was the second best corner on the team. Look, if you're watching or listening now, say something so I can acknowledge you being right. I don't know if he's the second best corner, but he's probably going to be the number 2. But just like, I was against it. I was, but anyway, it's going to be it's a preseason game too. Please don't overreact, y'all. I don't want to have to come back and tell y'all to calm down. It's a lot of matchups to watch. If Slay and D-Hop match up, I'm watching that. Whoever J.J. Watt is going against, I'm watching that. And hopefully Ragnar in this running game and Tavai do well along with the backup quarterback. But it should be fun tonight, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we should definitely have it. Mike, last words, man.
Hey, I want to say thank you for everyone showing up before the preseason game tonight. We're all excited, man. We're ready to see some Lions football, a better showing than last week. And if you're unable to see the Lions game, jump on my channel in 15 minutes. I'm going to do live broadcasts of the Detroit Lions. I'm unable to show you the actual video of it because YouTube will kick me off, but I'm going to do play-by-play just like a radio and try to analyze what I see when I'm watching the game. What's the reason for this play happening? Whose fault is it? Whose success is it? And kind of give you my perspective. So if you're into that type of stuff, jump on my channel in 15 minutes.
And I know a lot of people want to be able to do it, but YouTube has a strict agreement, and it seems like the NFL is not playing. They don't even want you playing the sound from the game. Like, they will shut your channel down. That video will be down off of the sound. Just play the sound. That can get us blocked and banned from even going live stream for 90 days just for us playing the sound from the game. So you definitely want to check it out and get it there. I just want to let you fellas know I appreciate y'all for coming on, taking the time out y'all day. I know it's a Saturday. Many of y'all can be doing many other things, but y'all here with us, and we doing the community thing and we doing the family thing. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, Big Will, for filling in. Appreciate J-Mo for hopping on. And obviously, Mike, you keeping it pushed. People, do not get too caught up in this game. These are practice games, scrimmages. Okay, you watch these games to evaluate talent, not to look to see if we winning, losing, in between. You want to see what the identity looks like in a way that shows you talent. And if you can see the talent, that's what we want to see. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the game. I'll do the post game on my channel when it's off, and we'll discuss it. But as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.